Heyo, it's Vi, and welcome to the first official speed paint we're going to do on this channel. Sure you don't want to hear me keep talking, so let's get into it. I did the sketch before I started recording, so you didn't have to watch that. Now we're just starting to sketch in the background with a nice gradient effect to look like a night sky. Added some stars because, you know, I could. Now a city skyline isn't exactly necessary, but I just thought it might look cute. I couldn't decide if I wanted to do trees or if I wanted to do a city skyline, so I ended up combining both. So now we're just sketching in the trees and this weird kind of, I'm not sure what that looks like, honestly. I just kind of have a weird style of drawing trees. So we're blocking in the trees behind and changing it so we can still see the background, editing with opacity. And now we're going into actually finishing the sketch. I didn't draw her face in, I'm not sure why, but she looks kind of Disney-like. I don't know, I like it. Then we're going straight into coloring because originally I wanted to do a painterly kind of style, but instead I just ended up just doing something. I don't know, you'll see what it is. Sketching in the dress because I forgot to put clothes on her, and now we're adding in the skin, and sketching in the dress, and editing the hand position because I realized she's not wearing shoes. Why isn't she wearing shoes? I should do something about that. So I decided to make her carry her shoes because I wanted it to look like she came out of a fancy dinner and she's running off with the guy in the woods, or something like that. Or maybe the girl, I'm not sure. We're going in and adding in her features, just because we don't want some creepy Doctor Who villain looking thing with no face. We're shading in her lips to look a little more painterly and cartoony, kind of Disney-like, I'm not sure. Her shading in the face a tiny tad, but not that much shading on this. Making a custom brush in the middle of drawing something, that's a good idea. So now we're starting to add in her eyes and her lash line. Still coloring in her face, so it looks like a demon, with just white in there, okay. Add the pupils, there you go, there you go. And now we're starting to color them in to give them a kind of slightly realism look, but also not really. So we're adding in highlights just to make it pop off the page. I realized I needed to trim up the color a little bit, edit the face shape, add some loose strands just to make it look better. Taking my lower lash line and starting to clean up the edges and really solidify her form better. I'm just doing that. Yep, solidifying the form and editing the shape of it a little bit to make it look right. Choosing a color for the dress wasn't that hard because the dress was the first thing I planned when I started drawing this. That's literally the only thing I had planned. I didn't even know what I was doing. I just went into it. So we're adding the sketch back in just to see what we're currently doing. I'm going in, finishing the coloring, rounding it out some more. And then I realized, oh wait, that's right, she's holding her shoes. So I decided to do a booty type thing with a slightly darker color to her dress so that they look like it was part of a set almost. Like, kind of chunky 90s heels almost. So I'm just coloring that in, the back one a little bit darker to give it that shaded, cell shading effect almost. Just rounding out the shoes some more, making sure it looks right. Adding a little bit of shading, adding some line work so it doesn't just look like a paper doll cutout, even though that's kind of what I was going for. So we're adding some details into the hair, changing it up a bit, making sure it looks good, and changing the shape of her hand and her arm, just shaping everything up pretty well. Adding in the ear because it just looked like a glob of flesh, which is disturbing. Naming the layers so I don't get super confused because I wanted to do the paper doll kind of thing that I did for another character a while ago. So here I am looking up some textures. I was going to put that on her hair, but then I decided I didn't really like how it looked in the end, and I'm just looking up another tan texture. I put that over her skin, but I decided I didn't like it. And then I just took this blue for the dress, and I think that's the dress pattern is the only thing I kept. And after all that, this is the finished product. I hope you like it, and sorry the narration was a little rushed, but that's it. Bye-bye.